has to be one of the most photogenic spots on the face of the earth.
It's kind of almost mystical when you come out here and there's absolutely nobody around you.
There are no words in the English language to describe how beautiful this is.
It's just an incredible variation of experiences that you just can't get anywhere else.
It's just massive, 80,000 acres, the only privately owned 14,000-foot mountain peak in the United States.
You can't even really describe how beautiful it is here, and just the sounds and the fresh air and just the feeling you have when you're here is amazing.
Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious alive. I first shot this ranch in 2011, and it was just something I had never experienced before. Oh, wow. It came down out of the forest, and your heart stops. There's no words to describe the sight of an 800-900 pound bull elk. I know there are places you can go like Yellowstone to see elk. It's almost a Walt Disney environment, but these are not those kinds of elk. This is free range, wild elk that made it all the more special. This ranch has never been photographed in the manner in which I wanted to do it. So I began to formulate an idea for a photography workshop, bringing a group of photographers with full respect for nature, full respect for preserving this incredible environment. It just made me think that this would be an amazing, just amazing workshop. Take a look at it and you'll see how it looks in the camera, and then you'll learn how to look at it with your eye. Different people will tell you different things, but I've had real good luck putting it on the surface of the lens. Y'all doing all right up there? But when you're looking at it, you're not doing that. You know what I mean? There's different clusters of aspen forests. There's incredible mountain peaks. There's beautiful meadows. And that's what you're always wanting to look for, something to complement the subject matter in the clouds.
I was kind of intimidated because I knew that a lot of the people coming weren't quite as amateur as I am, and so anything I asked him anytime, he always took the time to help me.
We're going to leave this shutter open for at least 2 seconds. Now, in order to not overexpose the image for 2 seconds in bright sunlight, we have to put something on the front of the lens to darken the light coming into the camera.
Phil does this thing called motion blur, and I had never tried to do it on my own camera.
So we have 8. This stream that runs through this meadow is a beautiful place to shoot.
It was a really special time to just think that I took this beautiful photograph and I did it correctly.
We spent some time there initially doing motion blur, and then once that particular lesson was over, all of a sudden, everyone disappeared. I said, where'd everybody go? I saw Hugh off in the distance. He was focusing on something over there. And I saw Boris over here going up the stream, going to some other smaller waterfalls, and he was practicing what he had learned in motion blur. Liana was doing the same thing. Phil Bull was shooting grand vistas against the meadow. I mean, it was just a great feeling to watch people internalize what I'd taught them and then run off in their own directions with their own creative juices flowing to search out their own interpretation of the incredible surroundings.
It's just a massively big area, and it's so quiet. That's the thing that amazed me. There's no planes flying overhead, there's no car horns. It's just beautiful, virgin country.
Indescribable. I can't even think of words to talk about what we've seen this week as far as the evening shooting, the sunsets, and the clouds rolling in, and then just taking your breath away. You can hardly focus on the camera.
As the week goes on, I start to see people stretching themselves and they begin to not rely on me. I'm getting fewer and fewer questions, and I'm seeing them walking around, and you can see that they're looking at different things and their talent is developing. I mean, that's the bottom line. And it's so exciting to see that. Oh, we were supposed to have lunch half an hour ago, but I can't get everybody to the car. There's too much to shoot.
The difference between shooting here at Sila Vista and the national parks is huge.
Whereas in your national park, you've got to factor in when the crowds are going to be where, at which vista. You also have to factor in what the traffic patterns are going to be. That is not an issue when you're here, because we're the only ones here. There's just a group of 6 or 7 of us, and we get around in 2 or 3 vehicles. We've got the whole place to ourselves. The other big difference shooting here is you're getting shots that nobody else has.
We structured the workshop to put us at the 11,000 foot shooting location for sunsets pretty much every night. This one particular night we went up there and the winds were calm, the clouds were moving around, and we could see in the distance this storm is kind of moving in our direction.
You could see this really dark, ominous cloud kind of creeping in.
Those clouds were moving fast. And then all of a sudden, the winds kicked in. It's getting ready to rain. We couldn't see anything. It started to snow and hail. The temperature dropped probably 20 degrees inside of 15 minutes. Very quickly, we had to pack everything up and jump in the car.
Just being blanketed all of a sudden like that with the winds blustering, it was really neat to be up at that altitude to see. So the next night was kind of the opposite, because when we got there, the weather conditions looked pretty grim.
As we pulled into the parking area, we moved into a raging winter storm. The winds were blowing 30, 40 miles an hour. We couldn't see anything. It was a complete whiteout. We have snow and sleet.
It was freezing, like literally freezing. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
And we're standing on top of a hill where we could be inside eating dinner, fresh cookies.
Honestly, I didn't even think we were going to be able to shoot anything, but Phil had the gumption to say, you know what, we're going to stick it out.
We will be richly rewarded when it clears up.
I thought, this is just insane. Well, you know, why would I come from Australia to get my frozen off? You know, it was so cold.
Sure enough, it passed. And when it parted, it opened up one of the grandest sunset cloud formations I think I've ever seen.
I just grabbed my camera and went out and started shooting handheld, and there was just the most beautiful yellow light bathing that valley floor in those mountains. I've just never seen anything like it.
It's a shot any direction you want to shoot. It's just indescribable. Completely, right over there where all those mountains are coming together in the mist, and the air is so clean and it smells so good. And we're still 20 minutes away from sunset, so we got 20 minutes of shooting in storybook conditions, absolutely storybook conditions.
He always encourages us to stick it out, hang in there, something beautiful's going to happen, and so we stuck it out. The adrenaline's going, and it's exciting because every time you turn around, there's another scene to be shot.
You look behind you, and this mountain was covered in snow. Gosh, like I said, you thought one night before couldn't top it, and then sure enough, the next night does.
We got great shots that night.
Usually when a sunset is over, after a day like this, you're so exhausted that you just want to get home and you just want to eat.
One of the things that's been absolutely outstanding here at the ranch is the food that we've had. Probably the highlight was one night we had elk ribeye steaks, which I've never had before, and they were just to die for.
It wasn't wrapped beef sirloin from the store. This was real wild, delicious elk.
They were superb. And in fact, they were so good, I thought we were going to run out, but we didn't.
I only had like 7 images. I didn't have a whole series of 600 pictures to sort through. I had a very specific number of 7 that's manageable. And so now we have the image that we took last night up at the top of the hill when we were freezing cold and wet and hungry and tired. And this is the reward for that sacrifice. You're out in the field and you think you see something that's really nice and you shoot it, and then you get it back into the computer and it doesn't look that good. Well, you've got to learn how to process an image. There is no such thing as an image that isn't processed.
He spends a day working with everyone on Photoshop and photo processing.
Took his time, went slowly, especially for me because I knew nothing, especially about Photoshop. I just got it installed that morning before we even started the Photoshop day.
Put the cursor inside that image, left click, hold it down, drag it over.
He went through 5 tools in Photoshop and said if we could master them in that amount of time, we'd be 80% proficient, and I think he was right.
And so therefore,
Just can't say enough about how much help that one day was. You feel like you want to get out in the field and shoot some more.
Put you right here. Are you okay? Do you want me to carry that? The bull's right there.
We got out and we were walking in this eerie silence throughout the forest. And then we started hearing the elk cries all around you. It was very, very surreal, and I never heard anything like that.
We were decked out in camo, lugging our camera and tripods, trying to be as quiet as we could, and just that adrenaline.
Whoa, 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 whoa. There's a bull right there coming across.
All of a sudden, one would come from one direction, another direction. There'd be bulls and cows. They were coming from everywhere.
There's a good bull coming from the left, guys.
It just takes your breath away, and you can't even take it all in.
It was just so wild and so natural, being right in the thick of their element.
There's the big bull. There's a big bull right there.
We were all lined up and we were just shooting like crazy, as fast as we could.
you can see pictures of a bull elk, but when you see one in the wild, stopping in the clearing and staring at you, you can't put it into words. There aren't words. You know, people talk about an aha moment. People talk about an ephemeral moment. Well, that's one of them.
We got the most incredible photos. I've never seen anything like it.
You see how they were chasing around? Those cows are in estrus. They smell that, and that's why those bulls were fighting those little bulls. You know how they were.
Words can't even describe what we just saw.
That was pretty amazing.
Wow. Amazing. It was great. Never experienced anything like this in my life.
This has been the most incredible experience.
I have averaged between 600 and 700 pictures a day since I've been here.
My only regret is I've got to go home.
This could be the best kept secret in landscape photography.
But you can't take a bad picture out here. It's just been one great memory after another. Thinking back on those sunsets, thinking back of being down in those aspen groves, it's just going to stay with me for a lifetime.
I believe we've milked it for all it's worth. 5 days worth. Boy, what a punctuation. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not either. Hang on. It just never stops.
When you come here, it just brings tears to your eyes. It's just an incredible place, incredible people. You just don't want to leave.